All right, guys. Sorry about the delay there. Little technical dip. I was in the wrong webinar, so that was my bad. I'll tighten this up here a little bit. Let me get to the full screen, and we will start from the top here. I don't know if you could have heard my intro, but we're going to start this from the beginning here. First of all, thank you for joining our webinar. Today, we're going to be looking at the importance of electronic documentation. And we're going to examine some of the traditional methods we use and how that compares to capturing it in an electronic format. First, I want to talk about our history and why it makes sense to partner with Omen Systems for your bottom line. First, my name is David Bullington. I'm an executive here at Omen Systems. I've been in a senior cost estimator, a project manager. I've had my own consulting company helping folks do takeoffs, flying drones for quantities on quantity of work performed, to helping small companies manage their work, sort of like a bigger company, if you will. I've been with Omen Systems since 2002. In 2012, I had a large client of ours pick me up and take me out to North Dakota and start working as a project coordinator, all the way through to project manager, project engineer, senior estimator. Was able to do some neat things and learn about the industry in a relatively quick time. But I have over almost 20 years now. Since 2002, I've been around the industry. Omen Construction goes back to 1881. Their first job was with Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis Railroad. That was kind of the genesis of Omen Construction. Omen Construction Company. And here in Nashville, they built hundreds of miles of highways, roads, bridges, water treatment plants, to dams, to international work, Saudi Arabia, the Azores, things that were just out of the ordinary for a typical construction company here in the South. Some of their other projects that they did were bigger, large scale, like the Trans-Alaskan Pipeline. They were a corporate sponsor for the Oroville Dam out in California. Kind of a side piece here, when I went to work in North Dakota, we were moving dirt. We had about 2657 scrapers running. And I called John, telling him what we were doing. He asked me what kind of production we had. And I said, 22,000 yards a day, I think is what we were getting at the time. And he told me they were doing that about an hour with that wheel. So that was kind of a neat tidbit of information that we had on the side. I knew exactly about the wheel that he was talking about. And to the work that they did in the Panama Canal right after World War II, they expanded the Panama Canal. So they've had some very unique projects, giving John Omen, our president and CEO, insight into how to develop a software program that is meant for us here in the heavy civil construction world. So that being said, we're going to talk about today's climate, and that is that we're faced with in our construction world. In fact, as we all have seen, finding knowledge workers, in particular to the construction world, has been a tough challenge. And studies show and statistics show that when you do invest in your workers, their success rate not only improves, but their willingness to stay with you grows stronger too. Keeping them safe, knowledgeable, giving them the right tools not only keeps them more knowledgeable, but helps your company grow at the same time. Electronic means versus our old pencil and paper method speeds up the transmission of data. So now you're able to look at this stuff every day and make better business decisions because you're ahead of the curve. Whether it's keeping track of your equipment needs with up-to-date mechanical needs or breakdowns, or keeping up with your safety regulations to be able to show where you're tracking this, near misses, incidents, injuries. Having good daily diaries turned in from the field, complete with pictures and ground conditions, weather conditions, things like that help your company protect your investments and what you've worked on when it comes time to negotiate contract extensions or to just keep your clients in the know. It just helps build those relationships, as we've seen, a lot stronger. Better relationships, more work, more building. The technology in the industry. I guess you guys on this call have probably seen over the past 20 years, just estimating and looking at historical information in electronic format has revolutionized how we do work. So now we have equipment model controls for them to be able to build the job. We have layout. I remember that was 15 years ago. Someone could be able to go out with their stakes and just stick them in the ground by having the job model on a little rover was revolutionary. So to where we are today with the amount of information that we have at our fingertips, it only makes sense to continue that evolution by getting information from the field back to the office and back to the field. It should be a complete loop of information, eliminating all the phone calls. The information that you can send to them, whether documentation, whether it's revising their timesheets, getting the timesheets every day. This kind of information going back and forth from the field now, we don't have to have things slowing us down like a runner running around to all the jobs. This stuff is sent every day, at night, at the end of the shift. You're able to see this stuff in real time. You're able to give your owners information in real time. Better reporting, better relationships, and so forth are some of the things that we are seeing. We look at some of the different laws that affect production, and one of those is that if you have anything that's being tracked, you're going to have a better production. Anything that's being tracked and reported back is going to have even better production. It helps people learn from the mistakes made, or learn what are we doing right? What can we do right better? How can we extrapolate this information without electronic databases is very painstakingly hard. And then you look at all the work that it takes to go into the information you have, it's easily lost. It's sometimes hard to decipher. How do you compare one job to the next job? It's hard to do all these different things with our traditional methods. And that's where we start to look at what can make things better. So some of the things that you'll find with the field management program that helps people, like keeping the clients in the loop with daily reports. If you're tracking everything on the job, you're taking pictures of your progress, you're tracking the materials, so now you have a material yield. You're tracking the quantities of work performed. Now you're able to quickly and easily tell somebody that day. It doesn't take 2 or 3 days or a week to get back to them. You can tell them by the end of the day an answer to their question. Where are you at? So tracking daily performance against your budget is going to give you better information and help your bids get more in line with what reality is. It's going to help you be more responsive as a bidder, as a contractor, and to relay this information back and forth to the owners. Just gives them more confidence in your work. And we get this information to payroll. I mean, all this information that we're talking about, tracking the jobs better, having a historical information to look at the pictures, to look at the daily diaries, it is revolutionary. It really helps you track your production. I mean, that's what we're all about here, is operations. But even better, we're giving accounting something that they can use. And we're giving them their time in an electronic format that is able to import into most accounting systems. I mean, there's not many that it can't, and especially the ones that the people are using these days and age. It seems like all the payroll has some sort of import that we can match. I guess the way to put it would be, if it's using a SQL type database where it can have an import routine, we can more or less match it. So it's very commonplace for this information to travel from one system to the next. We like our ecosystem of keeping our field management system communicating with accounting. We also like to communicate back to the estimating system. We like to have best practices is having your standardized phase coding for your type of work that you're doing over and over and over again, so that you're able to see some of these historical trends in production and so forth for your next job. Makes your bidding a lot tighter and so forth. But that all being said, we talk about all the work that it would take in to track an old job where your field guy's out there with his daily diaries and he's tracking it in a notebook, and maybe you're meeting with him in the quarter way through the job, midway through the job, at the end of the job, and you're trying to go back through and discern what kind of production that you really did get on this project. Then you build that up in a spreadsheet. Now you have a spreadsheet from a job 2 or 3 years ago, 5 years ago. How often is that information really getting updated? How accurate is it really? That's kind of the old methods. Today, using real-time information, the guys are transmitting the information in every day. So every day you have this project information. Every day you're able to look at this and discern, is it this kind of project in Middle Tennessee, for instance, or is it in West Tennessee where it's a little bit muddier kind of information, ground, or is it out in East Tennessee where it's all rock? I mean, what kind of conditions are you working in and bidding in, and what do you want to look at for your production? Having this kind of information at your fingertips is revolutionized the construction industry.
West Tennessee,
where it's a little bit. I'm sorry? I don't know if somebody could hear me or not, or if somebody was speaking up. All right, so the daily diaries, the electronic information that you're getting from this, the information that you can share with your owners, it's collaboration. It's winning and grinning. Everybody's happy, chest bumping. You're getting more work. Your guys are happy. They're seeing real-time feedback. Everybody is in sync now. They're synchronizing. The more clients that you're making happy, the more work they have. Obviously, they're going to send to your way. And then people seeing a winning team, a leaning forward team, they're gonna want them to do their work. We all see this every day. It's no surprise. So, with that being said, what Omen Systems has done is developed our field management and mobile apps around operations. We started with the field person in mind. I mean, how does somebody transmit information? What is the easiest format for them? We have found everybody has a smartphone these days. Having a smartphone allows them to have this information at their fingertips. It's with them in their pocket. They're able to quickly and easily look at their data, put in their information that they performed for the day, and transmit it back to the office. At the same time, we also have an office system that's able to see this information, set projects up, all the different parameters, make sure that they're in sync with accounting, able to see live production information, and set up new projects, approve change orders, send out new data forms, new safety sheets. All that kind of information can be controlled from the office. I think I have one more slide here. And so without much further ado, I want to take a look at some of our programs and how they work and just give you a brief overview. If you have any questions or any suggestions, please email us, or you can, up here in the upper right, we have a little chat box or question box. You can send in the questions and we'll be glad to answer those as we get finished. So I'm going to close this here and I'm going to start from the mobile app, and I'm just going to mirror my phone here. Mirror my phone to this computer, which should be popping up here momentarily. There it is. I'm going to go here to this full screen. And now I am in my FMP mobile. We'll go to today's date, which is Friday. I can see here that it wants me to check for updates with this red little circle. I'm going to do so. It's updated any database, any information for me has been sent to me. I can drop down and see a list of projects that I'm assigned to. I can select any one of those. Go ahead and work on the job that I'm on. I can drop my calendar down and see what date I'm working on. I can see in green numbers here that everything's been transmitted. If I had any red, it'd show outstanding dates to transmit. I'm going to say I'm working today, and I'm just going to go through the diary here, and just as I'm going through this, I'll just talk about it. This is our standard start and stop time, 8 to 5. I'm going to get my weather conditions right here at the job site. It tells me what my temp low and high was, what the precipitation has been, what the ground conditions are like. This kind of information's is captured, and now you're able to see what rain days you had and then what the ground conditions were. You had any impact days. If I had any images to take from the project, I can just take the picture right here from my app, or I can load from my gallery, pick a couple pictures. Say I can put in some audio, scrapers placing, fill. I can get into any work performed. If I'm doing standard information, I can just pick something that I've done before. Load. If I have any delays to the job, I can enter those in. Muddy conditions. And so I'm able to speak into it. If I had any instructions from the owner's rep, if I had any visitors on the job, if I had any notes to take for the day, I can easily put this information in, and I have a good daily diary of just kind of work performed. Time card. I had guys on the job. It's typically the same guys I work with. I'm gonna copy a previous day. I'm gonna pick Wednesday, copy. I have all my guys in here. I can look at the first one. I can see I had my lead man working on pipe for 8 hours. If I needed to change that or add cost codes, I could. Go in here. Here's a list of cost codes on the project. I'm happy with the time. If I want to copy my time to everything else, I can. So now I've copied that phase code and that time to every other employee. And I've also done the same thing to the equipment. I've entered time on everything, therefore I should have units placed for the amount of time that I've spent working on these items. So I'll go in here and automatically anything that I've done for the day comes up. I see I have pipe, I'm going to put in 100 foot, and I've got that turned in for the day. If I received any materials, I can put those in. If we had any, we have documents that can be shared. Say I had equipment repair needed. I could easily put in my equipment repair and go in and pick which piece of equipment that it is that I'm working on. I didn't mean to pick that. There's my dozer. So if I had a dozer go down, put whatever, hose broke. Put in whatever the meter reading was. And I can set the urgency. I want it immediately. I can take a picture or load it from the gallery. If I had a picture, I don't have a picture. But not only do I have a picture, I can actually get in here and I can redline on it. I'm gonna change this actually to red. And I can circle on the picture and save it and close. I can put any notes I need to. Again, I'm gonna speak into it. Check the hoses. And save. Save form. So now I have my equipment repair needed. I can check off all my information, transfer my data. It's going to ask me to sign my card. I can turn that on or off. And it lets me know here that my information's been transferred. And it's giving me immediate feedback to see what my cost was for the day. If I want to see what it was for yesterday or this week or last week or this month, I'm in the field just getting a quick overview of this kind of information. I'm not calling anybody. I'm not having to see anything. It's just giving me live feedback based on the production information that we set up. So that's, kind of in a nutshell what the field's looking at. It's easy to use. We designed it for the person in the field. They shouldn't have to be fumbling through a program. We made it to be as intuitive as we could. We made it with our partners, as a matter of fact. As we develop these different programs, we work with companies like you guys that are in on this webinar to look at that stuff. So why is that doing that here? Error server. All right, so now I'm going to move into our office program. You can see here, this is just a quick dashboard. I can see of all my projects that I have going on. I can get a quick percent complete. You see the little lights here, just let me know what change orders are outstanding, what percent complete. If I had any change orders, I can actually double click and see them. If I wanted to approve that change order, I can approve it as submitted. I can approve the change order and give it a new cost code. I can reject it and say, no, that was really part of this part of the job. And then tell them that, and that'll send that information out there to them. So we have a good communication going on. That not a phone call has been made. This stuff's been sent from the field, and I'm in the office now reviewing this. When I go into the job now, I'm going to drill into this job here. It starts off with the dashboard. It's giving me just some quick information on the project completion times, what my production's been looking like so far, any submittals that's been turned in, quantity overruns. It's just a quick overview of the job right here on the dashboard. And it allows me to take actions from here. But I'm actually going to go into this reported work because I think this is, not only does the dashboard shine, because as a project manager, you're seeing this information live. You're able to have intelligent conversations on the phone with your boss when he's asking you how this work's going. You're right, Johnny, on the spot. Pick the next job. Next. And you're able to see this information in live time. Now, if you want to drill down into the job a little bit, here we are with reported work. I can see where I've turned in this work this week. I'm going to start with just a diary. I'm just going to pick any diary here. And it can see where I've turned in the day. There's my signature, the high, the low, what information that we put down, or what work performed, who was on the job with me. This is just summary information. The equipment on the job, the type of quantities we worked, any project images that we have, and notes. This kind of information is a nice quick summary. It can be sent to the owner. They can get this information automatically sent to them if they wanted to. We can even have them sign off on it. So many things to do. Here's a time card. Not only can you see the time card of what was turned in, you can actually edit it right here in the field. Right here in the office. This is information transmitted from the field. Now I'm here in the office. I've popped it up here. I can see here this red operator. I know that is not his typical work class. He's been assigned a different work class for this. We can have multiple work classes in one job. I know some guys working, they're in one part of the work class itself, or they're in one county one day or half the day in another county. Whatever it is, we can assign it to the job and make it work. Save and close this time card. I can send this back to the field and they can revise it, so on and so forth. We can look at production information. We can get the images information of what's happening. Not only are you seeing it for this foreman, you're seeing it for all your foremen. So here's an example. I'm looking at, here's Paul's. I hit the wrong button here. Let me pull up his daily diary. And this will give me a quick overview of Paul's work, what he's doing. I can hit on his time card. I can go to his materials, his images. I can see, in this case, he took the picture with his phone himself, so now he has the metadata to tell him where he took the picture. He actually put some notes and did a little annotation. So all this kind of information is going to be sent to you at your fingertips. You're able to see this. You're able to share it with your internal operations. You're also able to share it with the owners. And this kind of information, whether it's somebody as sophisticated as a TVA or a Corps of Engineering kind of client, or down to a lot of these developers, this kind of information they are eating up. They like to see it. It helps them sell their work. When it comes time for the dreaded court cases and stuff, we all know you're sitting there in a litigation that whoever has the best notes is typically going to have their best case. So it's this kind of information that we're giving you, this tool that you put in the hands of your field that's going to be powering and driving your company for success. Okay, so now I'm going to lower this here, and before I do that, I want to see if there's anything else I wanted to cover here. Reports. We have a plethora of reports that you can run on all this. They're all canned. You can also create custom reports. So if we don't have the report that you need, you can create the report, or we'll help you create it. It's no problem. It's no extra fees. It's just part of the process for us. You will have a customer success rep assigned to you to make sure that you are up and running and everything's as smooth as it needs to be. We have an unparalleled support team. They really understand our business and what we do and how to make us more efficient. We have constant communication here between sales, support, and our development team. We are all on the same page here together, figuring out what is the, not necessarily the latest trends, but what's helping our team members out here. So that's the type of company that you will have with Omen Systems, and that's why it's good for your bottom dollar. So this all being said, I'm going to minimize this and open the floor to questions. At this time, if you have any questions or if you have any emails or any concerns, please feel free to send them in. And let's see here if I can get this back up. One moment here. I don't know if my email is up or not. All right, first questions here we have. FMP field. How often should I transmit my information from the field? Every day. We find daily transmission is the key to your success. If you think of, I don't know, some like to call it the Mack truck rule. If something were to happen to your key player, he's gone, he's left the company, whatever. That information is now in a repository. We're cloud-based. You're able to be up and running without missing a beat as far as getting the information. We know key players are hard to keep, so you want to keep those. But at the same time, this information, training up your younger guys, it's at their fingertips. It's able to get that information flow faster. Let's see another one. Can I transmit? Can I manage my crews with this? And yes, absolutely. Field management, we have a crew module that you can actually schedule your crews and your resources and be able to send them out and track not only where your resources are, but what upcoming projects they have, sending them notifications of where they need to be, plus maps and all that kind of information at their fingertips, sending them seamless notification. Again, eliminating the phone calls, letting them lay their days out because they're getting the notifications and they're able to see the stuff in live time. I think I have one more question. Nope, that's it. Okay, any more questions or anybody want to raise a hand right now or anything like that? I'm going to open this panel up a little bit and see. I don't really see any more, so thank you very much for coming out. We'd like to see you if you on our website, www.omanco.com, or feel free to call and schedule a demo for more in-depth on how we can work specifically with your company and answer your needs. Give us a call, 1-800-541-0803. And thank you very much.